Assalamualaikum Warahmatullahi Wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, my name is Siti Hafizah. Today I'm going to share a presentation about what's inside a computer and about hardware. These are two really important parts of how computers work. Let's start by looking at what's actually inside a computer. When we open it up, what do we find? When we open a computer, we'll see a lot of components inside. They all have different roles, but they work together to make everything run smoothly. Now, let's talk about the main parts inside the computer. These are the components that make everything work. The CPU works like our brain, making decisions and processing tasks. The motherboard connects all the components. RAM helps with quick access, and the power supply gives the energy to make it all run. So, how do all these parts work together? Here's how they support each other in making the computer function. These parts don't work alone. For example, the CPU might process something, but it needs RAM for speed and the motherboards to communicate, and of course, without power, nothing's work at all. You might ask, why do we need to know about this? Here's why I think it's actually useful. I think it's useful to understand what's inside the computer. It can help us fix problems, maybe even upgrade parts ourselves. Plus, it's just cool to know what's going on inside. Okay, now let's move on to the next topic, hardware. So what is hardware? Hardware means everything we can actually touch on the computer, not just the inside parts, but also things like the keyboard or screen. They are hardware. There are different types of hardware, and they each have different roles. Let me explain some of them. We can group hardware by function. Input lets us send data, output shows us the result, storage keeps files, and processing handles the data. We use them all the time, maybe without even realizing it. Now, I'll give you some real-life examples of hardware that we use almost every day. Some hardware is really common, like our keyboard, which we use for typing, or the monitor to see what's happening, and the CPU, of course, is doing the real hard work in the background. Sometimes people confuse hardware and software. Here's a simple way to understand the difference. Hardware is the body, software is the mind. They need each other. A computer won't work if one is missing. Alright, so to sum up everything I've explained, here are the key points we've learned today. We've learned about the components inside the computer and about hardware in general. I think knowing this stuff makes us better user and maybe even help us solve problems when they come. Thanks for listening. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.